Has NASA's Mars rover discovered a secret alien passageway? Discover the truth about this disturbing photograph. Curiosity, NASA's Mars rover, has returned with a startling photograph from the red planet. The picture depicts a carved entrance within a rock formation, which appears to be a secret gateway for aliens. But was it truly so? Did NASA's Mars rover Curiosity recently discover a hidden extraterrestrial layer? That has been the query on the internet for a while when a weird photograph from Mars was published by the rover. A finely carved rectangular gateway in a geological formation could be observed in the viral photograph. Many netizens, interest enthusiasts as I like to call them, were perplexed by this photograph, assuming it to be a secret entry for aliens. It would be remarkable if we discovered proof of aliens in this manner, after looking for them in every crevice of the cosmos. However, scientists are certain that this exquisitely crafted door could only have been created by an intelligent race. So the question now is, are there aliens? And have they decided to live in caverns on Mars? On May the 7th, the NASA Mars rover Curiosity's mast cam captured the photograph. The picture was taken at Green Hue Pediment, a geological area where the rover was collecting samples and examining the terrain. The image in question appeared to be a doorway within a large rock formation, which is commonly seen on our planet as evidence of ancient civilization caves or entrances. The similarity between the two has led many people to believe that it was created by an ancient Martian civilization. However, this is not the case. This compelling visual, according to Science Alert, may have little to do with aliens. The doorway looks to be a sheer crack in the rock structure. That might have formed as a consequence of the tension on the rock that caused a piece of it to break off. Earthquakes on the globe are another possible cause of this. According to reports, NASA's Mars rover Curiosity has been subjected to a number of earthquakes since arriving on Mars, with the greatest occurring for a few days. Another fascinating element about the photograph that many people overlooked is that, despite how it looks, the door-like sculpture is most likely only a few millimeters wide. A larger, colorized variant of the photograph shows the overall scale of the structure and how massive the entryway appears to be in comparison. For those of you who are having difficulty locating the door, it is placed towards the top of the photo, towards the left corner. Several indicators indicate that the image's subject is not a real door. For starters, it's only around 3 feet or 1 meter. According to planetary geologist Nicolas Mangold of the University of Nantes in France, who informed Live Science in an email. Or could it be that the Martians were very small creatures? And science fiction movies have deceived us all the time. Other online jokes include the concept that it is the intergalactic tomb of Jesus, a cradle for ET, or a save point for a computer game, according to the Vice website. But the truth is that it's none of these things. What seems to be a door is actually just a small hole in the rock formed by natural processes. So, if it's not a doorway, what could it be? HODGSON, a vice president of the British geoscience business, believes erosion is to blame for the door. On the rock strata are rocky layers that dip into the left and rise to the right. These are silt beds with firmer sandy layers that stick out, he explained in an email to Live Science. They were probably deposited 4 billion years ago under sedimentary settings, maybe in a river. I'd need to examine more of the outcrop to be sure, or a wind-blown dune. The strata have been worn by Martian winds since they were revealed on the surface, and the photos reveal signs of them within the door, he added. Several naturally vertical fractures are apparent in the picture, including cracks created by how rocks weather on Mars, and the little cave or door appears to have developed where the vertical fractures cross with the strata, he added. According to him, the door-shaped cave was formed by a massive boulder falling out under its weight. On Mars, gravity isn't as powerful, but is strong enough to do something. The culprit is a boulder resting on the ground just to the right of the door, which looks to have a smooth vertical edge, presumably because it fell out lately and hasn't been exposed to Martian winds for long. He described it as all quite natural and comparable to outcrops you might find in many desert locations on Earth. Mangold, who examines seismic data from the Curiosity and Perseverance rovers, believes the Martian door was formed naturally by the rock structure. These are two-way cracks that create an open box. With the door look nothing fake, Mangold explained. Internet conjecture has suggested that the little door-shaped cave was produced by a seismic Marsquake. Two of the greatest Marsquakes ever recorded occurred in late 2021. But Mangold is skeptical. The entire mountain is gravely shattered. There's no need for large Marsquakes, he said. Instead, the fractures might have occurred before the rock was exposed due to the hydraulic pressure of water in its crevices, or they could be the consequence of thermal stress generated by the rock's exposure by seasonal temperature fluctuations on the surface of Mars. "It's a very lovely fragmented outcrop," said geologist Angelo Rossi of Bremen's Jacobs University. Then Rossi has generated panoramic images of the outcrop using Curiosity rover images, and he too believes the door-shaped cave was formed by apparent fissures in the rock. Part of his research involves looking for analogues on Earth to geological features discovered on Mars, and he claims that there are many analogous structures on Earth, and it's unlikely that Marsquakes had a role. Any block that is separated by fissures might ultimately slide downslope, even if the slope is moderate, Rossi told Life Science in an email. The cracks themselves are not directly formed by Marsquakes, but rather by deformation over geologic time, he explained. Hodgson goes on to say that the image demonstrates how helpful images from Mars rovers can be. "This is a fantastic photograph. It only goes to illustrate how fantastic geology we can accomplish with the photos returned by Curiosity and Perseverance." Scott Waring of the UFO-focused site ET Database made the allegation about the presence of an extraterrestrial entryway on Mars. Waring discovered the structure while looking through photographs produced by NASA's Spirit rover. Waring saw what looked to be like an entrance on one of the rocks in one of the photographs, which displayed two rocks on Martian soil. He saw that the aperture was practically rectangular in form. As a result, Waring proposed that the aperture is the doorway to an extraterrestrial dwelling or construction. Waring calculated the entryway to be roughly 4 inches wide and 6 inches tall, based on the size of the boulder in comparison to the rover. The scale of the gateway, according to Waring, corresponds with his prior finds on sculptures and engravings on Mars. But they were similar in size. They may have been created and utilized by the same kind of little extraterrestrial aliens. Surprisingly, this isn't the first time Waring has discovered doorway-like gaps in NASA's Mars images. He discovered a passage on another rock earlier in July. This one was larger than his last find. The entryway was roughly a foot tall, according to Waring. Furthermore, based on the track heading into or out of the gateway, Waring hypothesized that the extraterrestrial aliens that constructed it are still using it. In a blog post, Waring said, "If you look attentively in front of the entrance, you will find a used trail extending out of the entryway and across to the left. The route appears to have been recently used, thus whoever built that trail is still alive and well within this doorway." Waring further claimed that the aliens purposefully designed the buildings to resemble rocks as a mean of concealment. "It appears to be a rock, but it is not," he wrote. "It's an extraterrestrial building designed to blend in with the Mars environment." While conspiracy theories regarding the mystery gateway appear to be trending on the internet, other Reddit members remain skeptical. many skeptics have pointed out that the door is most likely a shear fracture, the consequence of some form of tension on the rock that broke part of it off. Given the circumstances, it's a plausible theory. On May the 4th, Mars had its greatest earthquake, which experts are still attempting to find out what caused. Although the door-like rock feature looks to be large enough to accommodate humans, it may only be a few centimeters or inches tall. So what if it's only a few inches? One Reddit user said. How do we know how big our rulers will be? A Martian crater with alien footprints was recently shown to be a unique geographic marker. It's not the first time images from Mars have been misinterpreted as evidence of alien life. Our comment section is now open. Please share your comments on the alien gateway. Are you optimistic about an alien race on Mars, or do you think that is just a crack on the... Thank you. And that's all the time we have. Bye for now.